Can I say good morning to Jan, please? Jan, good morning.
Hi, Neil. Good morning.
Now, you guys got...
Bag of nerves.
Not at all. You're only talking to me. Like as if
I
it's you
know.
and me having a natter on the phone. So,
I know.
And what has it happened with regards to the kids? Were they coming home from school, or were they out playing, or what?
No, they were walking home from school, from Dino's to Lidl.
Are we talking about what, Bishopstown?
Bishopstown, yeah.
Dino from Dino's to Lidl, yeah.
So one of the girls, Kate's friend, noticed 5 foreign guys following them, but didn't say anything to Kate. She didn't think anything of it. So they got kind of past the Bishopstown Garda station, and then they were still behind them, disgusting, like blowing kisses at them and love hearts. And
were they walking behind them? Were they in a car?
They were following them. They were walking behind them all the time. And I suppose they were calling them and beckoning them over and blowing kisses to them. I mean, they're 12 years old, like, it's disgusting. So the girls got as far as they were going to Lidl, like, so just to buy sweets and a drink. And
what time of the day?
It was 4:09 because Kate's friend checked the time. So the 5 guys who were foreign, the girls said that's neither here nor there, but they were dark-skinned anyway, kind of late 20s. And the 5 guys then got into a red blacked-out car, blacked-out windows, and then where a man in his 40s, they said, an older man, then got out of the car and started telling the girls, get into the car. And he was starting to approach them. Now I dread to think what would happen. Now obviously they know not to get into a car, but I mean there was 6 of them at this stage. The girls said a man, we don't know who he was, in a white van, saw something was wrong. And he rolled down the window, asked the girls, are they okay, and told the men to leave. Now, they didn't leave at first, but he parked his van in front of the car and the girls and blocked them. And the girls ran into Lidl, like. But I tried to think what would have happened if that man wasn't there. You know, there was 6 of them, like.
He was on the ball, wasn't he, noticing that something didn't look right?
Yeah. I don't know, like, we don't know anything about him. I don't know, did he take the reg, like, you know, but I dread to think if he wasn't there, what would have happened. They ran into Lidl where the manager asked, did they want that, you know, they called the guards and were they okay to leave.
So when they went into Lidl, they told somebody, a staff member, right?
Yeah, staff approached them, knew that they were panicked.
They crying? Were they upset?
Yeah, very, very shook, shaking and crying, and yeah, like Kate was awake the whole night last night.
So they went into Lidl, very upset. The staff said he all right. They told him the story. Did they call the guards then at that stage?
Yeah, the guards were wondering about that as well. They said, we called the guards, sorry, but at the same time then the manager said, are you okay to leave? The girls kind of said, you know, they said they were like, they left him leave anyway. I think they should have kept him there, but look,
but at this stage, the red car had sped off, had it?
Eventually, yeah, it did eventually. Right. Kate then proceeded to walk her friend to the bus stop. And then I got a phone call from the other girl's mother. Kate came home and they were outside our door and they were very, very upset as well. So we all went to the Garda station to talk her because Bishopstown was closed, and the girls gave their statements, so it'll be passed on to Bishopstown detectives.
Yes. Yes. Well, I wonder, will it? I wonder, will Bishopstown, maybe fairly heavy.
They said we should expect a call today from the detectives that they've felt that it needs to be passed on. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I'm still like, I'm fuming, like, it's just very upsetting, you know, you don't expect it to happen around you, like, around your area, and there was 2 of them, and, you know, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I swear if I caught him and I'd been there, I know now you laugh at me, I would have killed 6 of them. All of them together. I'll have no fury of a mother, like, you know.
You better believe it. Or any parent would be absolutely... Dads would be livid as well, no, in fairness, like both parents.
Oh, God,
You really would want, you know, you really would want to take the law into your own hands. I can understand that. Give them a good hiding.
Yeah.
5 foreigners, red car, blacked out windows, Lidl car park yesterday afternoon.
There was 6 men.
Yeah,
but
5 of them were out, and your man, the older fella inside in the car. Yeah,
there was a car then in Little, like it was waiting or something.
There's bound to be a car reg there, you know.
Yeah, they're looking at CCTV and stuff like that. But it's just strange, you know. 5 of them could follow them from, you know, the same area, and then they're going to Little as well. And then there's a red blacked out car there, and then other guys waiting in there. The older man who kept coming out and was aggressive and beckoning over at them, get into the car, get in.
We contacted the Gardaí on this, and Garda Press said that they have no record on the system yet, but it can, you know, it only happened yesterday afternoon. But
it was 9 minutes past 4, and we didn't get to the guards, I'd say, till about maybe 6 o'clock. Because we were, myself and Kate's friend's mum, we were talking, we were trying to calm the girls down.
And do you mind me asking, you do believe them, do you, Jan? Because Garda Press said that they get reports of abductions every week across the country, but many are not, you know.
Oh, I checked the whole story.
Many aren't genuine, and they said sometimes it can cause hysteria, you know.
Yeah, no, I checked all that with them, and I suppose the guards took them in separately as well. With me, Kate was taken in by herself with me, and then the other girl with the other mother, and they said they were taking it very seriously. Like, so
good. That's good.
I rang the school this morning just to make them aware of it.
Primary school or secondary school?
Secondary. They're in first year. They're only 12. Like, so
they were clued in. They were clued in, though, weren't they? In fairness, they were well warned of the.
Kate herself, thank God, I knew not to get into the car. But Mum, what if that man in the van hadn't been there? Like, I mean, she was well aware. She was like, Mum, there was 6 of them. What if we couldn't have gotten away, you know? And I was like, I know, love, I know.
But the instruction really would be, it's like sometimes children could panic. We could all freeze, you know?
Yeah.
But in the event of that not happening, the best thing to do is just run away.
Yeah. You see, they didn't think anything of it at first. And, you know, they just didn't think anything of it first. They said her friend saw them, didn't think anything of it, and then said it to Kate. And then they were calling Kate and blowing kisses,
very lucky.
Like, and doing love hearts with their hands. And
12-year-old girls.
You know, 12-year-old girls. Like,
do you know what probably was inside in that red car? Alcohol, and that would have been the next step. They would have plied them with alcohol or forced alcohol on them, and God knows. Oh God,
and even I dread to think. Like, honestly, I dread.
This is the reality. This is the reality of it. This is the reality.
What would have happened if I'd never seen her again? If, you know, people hadn't been around? Oh my God, it's just. Oh,
all right, but fair play to the man in the van. He was really on the ball. He might even be listening, or somebody might know. He might have said. I
hope so. Yeah, because I
love to get in touch with him because he could help, couldn't he?
I would. Yeah. I said to Kate, "Did he get out? Did he take a picture of the reg?" And she said she didn't think so. They ran into Little Len in a panic, and you know.
All right. Well, let's just see on the off chance, because the guards would like to talk to him. They'll obviously be looking at CCTV footage, see what they can pick up out of it. Be great to get a result on this. So you stay in touch with me and let me know if you've any updates either from Toker or from Bishopstown. Let's see if anybody can. If this man in the van was listening, the guy who really came to their aid, you know,
a white van, and there was a lady in the van as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and he blocked them off. Yeah,
fair play to him.
Sorry, Neil, I'm all over the place.
You're not. Listen, I'd say you didn't sleep all night either. I can understand. I can understand. But thankfully, he was there in the van, and thankfully the girls had the cop on to get away and get to safety and go to somewhere where they could get some people, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well done. Well done, Jan.
Neil.
Job well done this morning. Thanks for taking the call.
Okay. Thank you, Neil.
All right. Have a nice cup of tea for yourself now and relax.
I will. And about 25.
All right, girl. Talk to you later. Stay in touch.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Well done. Anybody with any information leading maybe to helping the Gardaí in identifying who these characters are? Get in touch with us, 1-850-104-106. If you're the man in the van or know the man in the van that came to the two 12-year-olds' aid, love to talk to you too. Remember, you can always text us on 0868 104 106.
Text the Neil Prendeville Show now on Red FM.
James is absolutely right. He says, with regards to that attempted abduction of two 12-year-olds in the Bishopstown area yesterday, it would be no harm at all to get in touch with Bus Éireann. Plenty buses run past Lidl and Dino's in the Bishopstown area. They all have CCTV coverage on the buses. So this car or these guys, these 5 guys that were walking behind the girls, could easily be caught on CCTV. I guess the Garda Síochána will be across that as well, James. But thanks for the text. And then from there to Crosshaven on another topic of conversation of late. Live in Crosshaven. About 7 weeks ago, new neighbours moved in where I live. They're extremely quiet. They kept their curtains closed at all times and they spoke to no one. When we did engage with them, they were very polite, but didn't want to socialise. So eventually, as in all towns, the truth has now come out. Apparently, the person in question is a registered sex offender only weeks out of jail for grooming teenage girls online. The neighbourhood is now in uproar. Lots of people looked at that house when it came up for rent, but to our shock, within 2 days of it going up for rent, it was taken. In our area, there are at least 30 kids. The house is also close to a number of schools. Is there not a law that prevents sex offenders being that close to schools? Residents have phoned police, child protection, TDs, and no one seems to want to help. How on earth could this man be allowed to live so close to so many kids? Well, that's not the first time I've heard a story like that, of course, because we don't have a public sex offenders register that you can access. People will never know who's living near them. If this guy is a convicted sex offender and registered, then that means that he will have to sign on every week. But that's all. The guards will not identify to the public who's living in the community. That's the law. Many people want it changed, and you can understand why. Okay, text 0868 104 106. Can I go back to one of the earlier stories that we dealt with earlier on this morning? And this was what I regard as an attempted child abduction in Bishopstown of two 12-year-old first-year students. 5 guys hanging around, beckoning them, making gestures to them and all sorts of things. And then at one stage in the Lidl car park, trying to get them to get in to their blacked-out red van. Amongst other people, Phil Doherty was in Lidl at the time. Phil, good morning.
Good morning.
Were you working there at the time?
Yes, I was working there.
Did you see what happened?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So what can you share with me?
Not a lot, but I was working in the bakery at the time where I turned around and I heard a lot of loud talking, conversation, and where I saw four national fellas. They were foreign. To me, they looked Turkish. They sounded Turkish.
It's impossible to say about nationality, though. I accept that, but you're saying darker skin.
The only reason, if I were to say, was because I go to Turkish barbers. I know it's silly to say, but I hear them talk, and that's the vibe I got from them. But anyway, there was also an older guy there, 40s, I'd say, shaved heads. He didn't look like them. He looked different. Not foreign, if I was to say. He didn't look foreign.
And they were shopping at the time, were they?
But they were just shopping. They were just in the bakery picking stuff out as I was behind the bakery. So I saw nothing of it,
Yeah.
And then it was, we have quails in Lidl, the Bluetoothed quails to talk to each other, the staff.
Okay.
And what I heard over was there's 2 young girls, there's a problem. So this was the girl at the till talking to us, saying, she called the supervisor down to her.
Mm-hmm.
So the supervisor went down, and then obviously quails were turned off, so I just continued baking. I thought nothing of it, obviously. I just, maybe anything, it could be anything. So then it was over the quail again. The girl at the till said, that should be, the guard should be called for that situation. So then I was like, what happened? And then they said, there's some guys harassing 2 young girls downstairs. So I was like, sure, the guards have to be called for that kind of thing straight away.
Yeah.
So then my supervisor went into the CCTV and had a look. And what we saw were those 4 men and the older man downstairs, hanging about down the end of because Lidl in Bishopstown, there's a travelator to go up and down to the actual shopping centre.
Okay.
It's a 2-floor. There's a car park underneath, so they were hanging around down by the car park. indoors, like, so they were still in the shop, but there was no footage of any girls. There was just the 4 men hanging about with the older men, and then guards were called over. I think this was happening about 4:00. This incident.
That's right. That you have the time right. The only thing that's different is that Jan says that her daughter and her friend were walking home from school. They were walking from Dino's and got to Lidl, but during the walk they were followed by 5 foreigners, aged between their 20s and one in their 40s, and it happened in the car park.
Yeah, so that we didn't know anything like that. The girls were in a panic, and they were just like, "Oh, there's men following us. We're scared." And I don't know what happened, because, like I said, I was in the bakery, so the other people were over there. My other staff were with them, and I presume they were collected by their mother or something, the 2 girls. But I think they missed them at home themselves. But the guards called, right? But the guards came. It was after 6:00. There was 2 guards came in, looked for the CCTV. My supervisor went in with them, and gave them whatever footage they need. The faces were definitely seen. I think the carriage was caught because it was in the car park.
There's no chance that this could have been a misunderstanding in any way, shape or form, no? You're not in a position to say, you don't know. Yeah.
No, I'm not. But, like, those girls were petrified.
You saw them?
I saw the 2 girls at the till.
And they were very upset.
They were. But I didn't go and approach them.
I know, but what you saw was 2 very, very upset, genuinely upset young girls, yeah. Because Jan said to us as well, I think she came back to us a little later after my conversation with her, and she said, "I can't understand why the guards didn't tell us they had their faces and reg number for the men. I'm fuming now. It took 3 hours for them to arrive at the store. When the girls came home, we took them to the guards. The girls said the men didn't follow them into Lidl, unless one did, and they didn't notice it. The girls said everything happened outside Lidl in the car park." But, you're certainly helping us to put it together in the sense you saw them in the shop.
100% I saw them in the shop, but that could have been afterwards.
I think they came into the shop after the car park incident.
Yeah, so that's when that could have happened. So,
Okay. I wonder why the guards took so long to arrive.
Yeah, I don't know, Neil. It was definitely after 6:00, and I know that for a fact because I was after my break. So I know when the guards came, and I was on to Jan myself. We were talking, and she was, like you said, very upset at how long it took.
Your man in the white van who came to the aid, he intervened on behalf of the 2 girls. You don't know anything about him, do you?
No,
okay.
That's my first time hearing about that.
Okay, well, he was outside in the car, and he seemed to come to their aid in the sense that he blocked off the car from the 2 girls and things like that. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, a little 1 or 2 extra pieces in the jigsaw puzzle there. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate you taking the call.
No problem.
Cheers. In regards to you all in Lidl and Bishopstown, back after these.
Cork's #1 talk show.